Yo, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be reacting to when the call is so bad you take matters in your own hands. This video is by a YouTube channel called Jimmy High Roller. I subscribe to him. Y'all subscribe to him. I watch all his videos because I like basketball and such. If you're new to my channel, I am Aubrey Love. I post reaction videos Monday through Thursday, and on Fridays I post my own original content. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I post. We're gonna jump right into this though. You see it's loading up. Hopefully we don't get like a bunch of lag and whatnot. That's such a bad quality video. Oh my gosh.
This is Fabio Blumenblatt,
If you
a
want to
former
punch a
referee in
referee.
a professional basketball league in Uruguay. This is Elvis Bowling. He's not happy about a call. In an act almost as insane as his name itself, Elvis Bowling sends his fist right into Fabio's face, shattering his jaw and knocking him unconscious for 3 hours. Fabio nearly lost his eyesight because of this, and Elvis was banned from this league for the rest of his life and faced civil charges for this vicious act. The worst part about this entire incident, Fabio never even missed the call. Elvis was mad that this wasn't called a foul, but that's because it wasn't. Fabio was right all along.
How many people wish that they could punch referees and this guy actually did it? I'm shaking my head.
But this crazy story from 21 years ago made me think about the current state of NBA refereeing and how out of control some of these calls are getting. I'm sure some players would love to pull an Elvis and send a fist right at a ref or two. Of course they would never do this. Only a man with a name like Elvis Bowling would be capable of such madness. But the fact remains that this season referees and their calls have become suspect at best. Like this technical foul called on JJ Redick for passing the ball to the ref with force that ended up with him getting ejected from the game. On the bright side, fans quickly
he just spin the ball to the referee and then he give him a take and he had the game. Like, what can you do with a referee? Your referee's got too much power, man.
informed the ref that his call was out of line.
Showing him up a little bit, but
Or just the other night when Devin Booker got a technical for, again, passing the ball to a ref a little too hard, and then immediately gets teed up for a second time for arguing the initial technical, which results in him getting ejected from the game. This one was so bad, even Lakers players were blown away by the call. Look at this play here. Westbrook and Rondo get tied up, and Westbrook gives him a little shove. Ref sees it, tees him up, ejected from the game for boxing another player out too aggressively. This one here is pretty insane. Draymond Green throws an entry pass to James Wiseman. Wiseman gets beat on the pass and the Knicks get going the other way. Draymond, being the veteran leader that he is, starts chirping at Wiseman, his own teammate, and the refs hand him a technical.
Imagine getting a technical for yelling at your partner that you play with every day. Like, dog, you gotta get back on defense. Right. You getting a tech on yourself for yelling at your own team. Like, I'm gonna give the other team points for being mad at my own teammate. That's like,
which results in him getting ejected from the game. Ejected for yelling at his own teammate. How is a ref gonna get mad on behalf of another grown man? And the most recent egregious call came just the other day during a premier matchup between two of the best teams in the NBA. At the end of overtime, clock's winding down with an amazing game going down to the wire, and what do these refs do? Well, first of all, they call a questionable foul on Rudy Gobert here, which pretty much closed the door on the Jazz's chance of winning this game. And second, they end up ejecting Donovan Mitchell for getting upset about the call. So in one of the most exciting games of the season, featuring the top two teams in the league, the refs decided to leave their mark on the game by throwing out the best player on the #1 team in the NBA with under a minute left in overtime in a one-possession game. Really? I mean, sure, every once in a while, a hot-headed player will scold a ref for a terrible call. But when the entire team is absolutely appalled by the call, I'd say that's a sign that the...
See, the thing about refereeing, man, is I feel like they should... this game right here was a 1-point game. You know, you're going to be a little emotional, but them throwing Devin Mitchell out the game changes the whole landscape of the game. When you referee, you want to keep the integrity of the game. You throwing him out throughout all of their chances throw out their superstar player, throwing out their chances of like even having the chance to make a play. You know what I mean? Like, what did him being upset with 57 seconds left to go in overtime have to do with you throwing him out of the game? You know what I mean? That's just you trying to be a referee, trying to be bigger than basketball. I don't know how they tell them, you know, they referee trainers, but you don't throw out superstars, man. You just don't throw out superstars in games, you know. If it was, you know, Joe Ingles back there getting thrown, that'd be different. But you don't throw out Donovan Mitchell, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, you know, cats in the All-Star games. Don't get through our games. Come on, man.
The ref is flat
Give
out
him
wrong.
some respect.
NBA refs are getting out of hand, taking every little thing personal and throwing players and even star players out of games like it's nothing. Ja Morant, DeMarcus Cousins, Brandon Ingram, Jamal Murray, Kyle Lowry, among many other players all ejected from games this season. I get that they have to be consistent with their calls, but throwing stars out of NBA games because they hurt your feelings probably isn't too good for business. And we haven't even discussed the onslaught of technical fouls getting called this season that don't result in ejections. Apparently, you are no longer allowed to trash talk, argue dumb calls, slap the ground, yell and one after a tough basket, take harmless shots after the play, and you definitely cannot look at other players after you dunk on them. Doesn't leave much room for players to actually be themselves or show any sort of competitive passion, does it? Well, players are getting frustrated with what seems to be a series of power trips going on with NBA refs. Donovan Mitchell was fined $25,000 for that technical foul and fined a couple grand for the ejection. So,
all right, so and he got thrown out the game, and they took $25,000 from him off of a ref's opinion. That's terrible.
him and Rudy Gobert took their frustrations to the media and spoke about how these calls are getting out of hand. Gobert sticking up for his fellow Jazz teammate, in which the league fined him for that as well.
20,000.
And with players, coaches, the media, and even...
But you can't go back to a referee and be like, yo, you gotta go. You're making terrible calls, and they get fined 20 stacks. So you losing money. You lost out on the game. Yeah, bro, that's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible.
Even fans getting sick of the poor officiating job by refs this season. Why hasn't the NBA done anything about it? As awesome of a league commissioner Adam Silver is, he seems to be just ignoring this huge, overly sensitive, ego-tripping elephant in the room. Well, to put it simply, the league isn't doing anything about it because the league has always been this way. Seems crazy, right? Ain't no way refs have been this hypersensitive to everything players do, but they have. So far this season, the average team has played about 36 to 37 games. And through all of these games, there have been 330 technical fouls called and 19 ejections, which sounds like a lot. That can't be normal, right? Well, it is. In fact, if you look at the last 5 seasons, the amount of technicals and ejections getting handed out this season is actually par for the course. If there was any time to get outraged about the refs, it would have been about 2 seasons ago, when the league was handing out more Ts than Augusta in April. These bad calls that are resulting in fines and ejections aren't anything new.
It's the fines,
Any longtime fan of the NBA can attest to the fact that people have been sick of bad refs and their antics since the beginning of time. Here's an article from 2013 begging the age-old question. Here's an article addressing bad refereeing in 2019. Here's a Reddit post from 2014 regarding NBA refs being the worst of all major pro sports in the United States. Article from 2017, 2018, and an article from 2020. Here's another Reddit post from 2014 asking a question we've all probably asked ourselves at least once. The answer being no. There are no repercussions for refs who make bad calls, and they can, in fact, do whatever they want with no fear of any sort of punishment. Well, kind of. 99% of the time, refs can do whatever they want. But, I don't know, let's just say a ref asks a player to fight him. Now that would be grounds for punishment. And I know this because this actually happened back in 2007 when everyone's favorite referee Joey Crawford got suspended indefinitely for challenging Tim Duncan to a fight in the middle of a game. I mean, I'm not condoning this behavior, but I can't be the only one who would rather watch that than see players get tossed out for dumb reasons. But generally speaking, refs making bad, game-altering calls is nothing new. Older fans of the game may recall some of the most notorious bad calls, like this technical called on Shaquille O'Neal for, I guess, dunking the ball too hard. A personal favorite of mine, in 2017, Russell Westbrook got a technical for drilling a ref in the head with the ball during a timeout. Of course, this wasn't intentional. Of course it wasn't. Arguably, the most infamous set of technicals in NBA history came back in 2007 when Joey Crawford teed up Tim Duncan for nothing.
Yeah, he was just
Literally
laughing on
nothing.
the bench. He just didn't like.
Even
He didn't
worse,
like Tim Duncan.
Duncan laughed it off, and then Crawford teed him up for laughing, getting him ejected from the game. And maybe this is what led old Joey to square up with Tim Duncan months later. But possibly the worst and impactful technical ever handed down came in the 2000 Western Conference Finals, when Rasheed Wallace got ejected for looking at the referee. Rasheed was the driving force of this Blazers team, but after getting ejected in Game 1, Portland went on to lose the first game in a 7-game series. If this ref doesn't give Wallace this tech, he doesn't get ejected from the game, the Blazers quite possibly win Game 1, their odds of winning the series greatly increases, the Lakers will go to the finals, and Shaq and Kobe's legacies are altered forever. But that's a story for another video. At the end of the day, I don't think we're asking for much. Sure, this problem has been around for as long as the game itself, but doesn't that sound like a pretty solid reason to fix it?
Yeah, man, there was some bad ejections. I've seen some bad referee calls in my day, but man, you know what I'm saying? You gotta respect the referee's calls because you know you got a bounce there for. But to a certain extent, like the Tim Duncan ejections, bro, it's like man, you out here to try to help the game, or you got a personal vendetta against me? You know what I mean? So that's Jimmy Hyro's video. When the call is so bad, you have to take matters into your own hands, man. Please leave a like please leave a like. If you leave a like on the thumbs up button, check that out. Leave a comment below what you thought about the ejections, or what you think about NBA refs in general, man. I don't think they're horrible, but sometimes when it's bad, it's terrible. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time that I post. I post reaction videos Monday through Thursday, and I post my own original content on Friday. So hopefully y'all are looking and tuning into that. So until next time, man.